From the center of the universe, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, this is the SDM Show with your host, Rob Cairns. The SDM Show focuses on business, life, productivity, digital marketing, WordPress, and more. Sit back, relax, grab your favorite drink, and enjoy the show. Here is Rob.
Hey everybody, I'm Rob Cairns. I'm the founder, CEO, and chief creator of Amazing Ideas at Stunning Digital Marketing. In today's podcast, we have agency chat with Mr. Ryan Waterbuy. And Ryan and I are going to talk about contracts, terms of service, and why they all matter for our clients. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Hey everybody, Stunning Digital Marketing is your digital concierge. We help you put the pieces together to make your marketing success. Specialties we have including WordPress design and development, WordPress security, which is one of our most popular offerings, ads, and more. So if you want to succeed in the digital world, go on over to stunningdigitalmarketing.com and have a look at what we offer, and we'd be glad to help you. And let's jump on a call and make it happen. That's stunningdigitalmarketing.com. Hey everybody, Rob Cairns here. And today I got my monthly co-host with Agency Chat, Mr. Ryan Waterbuy. Hey Ryan.
How you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing good. It is cold in Toronto, but sunny, sort of cloudy now. But would you like
we're
some?
overcast and rainy, so yes, I would like some sun.
Yeah, you would, I'm sure. Last month we talked about dealing with bad clients for the second time. And both of us have been in this space a long time. And today we were having a conversation a couple hours ago, and we thought we'd talk about terms and conditions, contracts, project management, and all that wonderful stuff. And I think one of the problems agency owners get off the rails is they have clients sign a contract and then they don't enforce that contract. And that's a problemo. What do you think?
I am finding myself way out on timelines, and I was looking for the source of my frustration, why I've been working 10 to 12-hour days, 6+ days a week, and I realized that it's not clients not abiding by timelines, even very generous ones. Petty things that have violated terms and conditions that I let slide, and a lot of it's my own fault. And that's why, when we were talking earlier, I thought this would be a good topic because we're not the only ones that run into this. Small agency owners, especially ones that care and work on projects that are near and dear to their hearts, often let things slide. Too long, in fact.
And I find every time I do, and I shared this with, and I'll share this with the audience, I shoot myself in the foot and I say at the end of the day, what the hell? Yeah, I can use that word. It's my podcast. Did I do that? Because it always gets me into trouble. Every time I try and be nice to somebody, every time I try and show I care, every time I get into that, I end up down a rabbit hole I don't want to be in. And I went through it this week where I had to read the riot act to a client who I really like and say, guys, you've had this long to get going on your content. Let's go here, or I'm going to start invoking clauses. And they kind of looked at me and said, "You're really going to invoke those?" I said, "You did sign them, didn't you? Like, come on, guys." And that's where we're kind of going. What do you think?
I think that's reasonable. And I have really started to sit back and think of myself as a business, because we are running a business, and we're not, first and foremost, we're people. And because we're small, we can be agile and bend our own rules when we need to. The problem comes in when you bend them too often, and then client expectations become the norm, that they expect you to do things that are outside your contract. And when we do that for not just one person, it slides to, 2, 3, 4, and then just it's everyone. And you find yourself in a mess. Like I said, I've been scrambling for time, Fall is when I like to take my vacations. I haven't done it for 2 falls in a row. And it really came down to client issues that became mine.
Yep.
And I was on a call last night for a board that I used to serve on for a current client. And I had a hole in my schedule earlier this year from May, June. I had some time and they needed some things done and they asked for some specific things done. They wanted to reinstall their e-commerce store, update their donation process, and do some very particular things in relation to uh, dogs that were in foster homes. And so it's a lot of custom work. And I said, great, I've got these 2 months, get me the information, and I'd be happy to take care of it. What do
Yep.
you think happened?
Hmm. They didn't do
That's
it.
it. Silence. There was nothing. One board member got her stuff done and no one else stepped up. And now I had and this happens with, nonprofit clients. It's not their day job and it's kind of par for the course. We've talked about that before where I think you and I are stepping away from doing the work in that segment.
I don't do
But we still
anymore.
have some, yeah, but we still have those legacy clients. And I was yelled at during the board meeting, why didn't I do these things? And I politely sat there and said, I gave you a very generous 2 month window. You didn't provide me the information that I needed. And
Mm.
now, as I stated in writing, you are at the back of the line behind other projects, which are running late. So, and it hurts when, clients take out their frustrations on you, but it's at the end of the day, it's not my problem. A-
Yeah.
And you have to really step back and think about it and not take things. I need to remind myself that I can't take things as personal as I used to because you have a life, I have a life. We need to be, healthy in how we run our work-life balance, or else there's not going to be a work-life balance. We'll be doing something else soon.
Yep. That's so true. I hate to say it. It is so true. And I think what we need to do is look at, scheduling and that whole mess. And it's just really hard some days. And I mean, I get it. I have a standard policy that on the weekends I don't do any work. I try to avoid it. If I do work, it's because I want to or I want to catch up, not because I have to. And I will actually tell clients, by the way, if you bug me on a weekend, your contract says I can charge you 3 times what I normally charge. Now I
Hmm.
have a few exceptions to that. I have a couple political clients that are in the middle of writing nominations. It's a little different. Yeah, but these people who say, "Oh, I didn't get to it because it's not my problem." Well, that's your problem. It's not my problem that your scheduling is bad. There's a cost to paying for bad scheduling.
Hmm. Exactly. And, that really came into play again this morning on another call
Yep.
where I have a project that's grossly behind. And I've asked for 3 things starting in August. One, we need tax compliance because this customer is selling nationwide.
Mhm.
And that takes a little bit of time because they wholesale and retail. I've partnered with Avalara and their process takes what it takes.
Yep.
And they're also in, a restricted market. So they need to do age verification. That hasn't been done. Now, this today was actually their original pushback launch day. It's not going to happen. They want to launch next week. Not going to happen because they haven't set up the accounts that I've asked for months.
Yep.
Avalara was nice, and this is what actually prompted, our discussion. They said, "Well, since you didn't get on the ball, we have an expedited charge to help you out." And that
Yep.
just reminded me that we are businesses ourselves and we should charge appropriately for our time if we get in a crunch. The client's problems become our problems, but then we should also bill them appropriately for expedited schedules.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, or not meeting deadlines. Like one of the rules I have with web dev projects is there are deadlines in my contracts, and if the clients don't meet the deadlines, there's a restart fee. And as you know, I am like the master at charging restart fees. I just say, forget it. I've got
Abs-
I have an ex client who wants me to restore his website. And I said, I can do it. But and I've quoted him some exorbitant cost because, you wasted my time. So here you go. And somebody would say that's not ethical. Well, he can go get somebody else to do it for him. But
I
the odds are he's not going to because he doesn't get it.
Oh, absolutely. Now, when somebody ends their service, there's no reason for me to keep their site around on storage. I
Yep.
do.
I do too.
I come from the print and design world, classical, where there are laws that say you keep materials for 18 months
Hmm.
after you finish a job. And that's just a generally, I don't know if it's legal or if it was just a generally accepted piece from the Graphic Arts Technical Foundation. So I typically keep digital material around for that long. But then when clients come back at the end of that term or later and they want it restored, and you throw out that number that seems high, it may include the full amount that they would have been paying for term to service during that time
Yep.
frame.
Yep. Yep.
And so it's not unreasonable. But clients will come back and say, well, why are you charging me this? I have to pay for the disk storage or cloud storage, and you didn't. So now you're coming to me after your term has ended and asking for something that I'm not legally bound to keep. Here's the charge for it. And this is what a lot of agency owners do. They get in a crunch and they don't enforce their terms. And then they're broke or frustrated and overworked.
Hmm.
So what I've been trying to do and be better for my own mental health and sanity is actually enforcing terms and conditions. I fired a couple of clients recently because they violated terms and conditions and they were not very happy until I showed them specifically in the terms and conditions that, hey, you caused a problem and it actually caused problems for my other clients and they're mad at me. So this kind of strings on to our last talk that a bad client can ruin relationships with your other clients.
Yep.
So and keeping, and that goes along with good project management. Good project management, a lot of times, is just good client management. And it's a skill and it's something you can learn. Some people are just born with it, being able to handle people, but it's something that you need to do. Otherwise, you're going to be grossly unhappy in what you're doing. And at the end of the day, you will start to lose the joy for something that you got into because A, you were good at it and enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's so true. And I think a lot of it is we just got to sometimes stick to our guns. And maybe it makes people unhappy, but I know when I go into, say, a print shop and I ask for a rush job, I'm going to pay a premium if I want same day.
Mhm.
Photo printing's a good example. If you send to, say, Walmart, photos and I want them next day, I pay more than if I say I want them in 7 days. That's just the way it is. And so
Exactly.
why are we any different? Now, that all said, I think it's important to have a terms and conditions. You and I have spent way too much time uploading ours lately, um, and updating them because we've both been through crap and lots of crap. I redid mine out of my last pile of crap, and I've redone mine again, and mine are published on my website. And if clients don't want to read it, that's not my problem anymore. I'm there. You've redone yours. You and I have multiple discussions in a week to bounce ideas off each other, and I think we keep feeding each other what kinds of silly stuff to put in there because we're both done.
Exactly. There are things that you've encountered that I'm like, holy crap, I'm not covered in my
Yep.
TNC. If that ever happened, I would just have to eat it.
Yep.
And, I think that's the other important piece is you don't have to make the mistakes. You can learn from your peers and colleagues, and it's important to compare notes. We're in the same industry, but do we compete on work? No. I think it's important to also understand what's acceptable and network with other web developers, designers, security professionals out there to understand. And by doing that, it helps you improve your terms and conditions. It helps you improve your processes and improve your project management and your client handling. A lot of that, the last part is experience because until you run into it, you don't know.
No,
But
I agree.
yep. I, but at the end of the day, it's all about, improvement. And we want to provide good service for our clients.
Yep.
So building good terms and conditions and letting your clients know what is reasonably acceptable is the foundational baseline.
Yep.
And when they step over the line, you need to be ready to enforce those T&Cs. Otherwise, you're going to be unhappy at the end of the day.
And I don't think we need to start compromising what those T&Cs are all the time, because then you become known as a discounter and it gets out there that you're prepared to compromise. So everybody expects you to compromise. And frankly, it's one thing to offer specials. I mean, I did in the month of November, as you know, you choose not to. We all get that. But it's another thing to do it all the time. And frankly, I'm at the point of view where I don't want to do it anymore because it just causes grief. And when you become known as a discounter, the only ones that should be known as discounter are companies like Dollarama and Dollar Tree because that's their
Mhm.
business. The rest of the world doesn't need to be, because if word gets around, you compromise your T&C, people will say, "Oh, well, I expected you to compromise because I heard you did." And
Mhm.
then your rules are you're ruling by exception, not by the rule, and that's the problem too.
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head with pricing. If you're running a sale all the time, that the regular price isn't the price. Your sale
No.
price is the price. And what you allow is what will continue. So, one, enforcing your T&Cs and, also pricing. I'm not saying that you shouldn't bend the rules. And that is also the other thing. I compared, my business. I said, what would Comcast do? Would they
No.
let you continue to host your site for free? Absolutely not. And, we have to realize we're also not Comcast, where somebody lands in the hospital and they aren't able to fulfill their part of the bargain. There are exceptions to these rules, and I don't want to come off as a hardliner jackass that
You need
that just says, hey, this is the we're done, and these are the rules. that that's not it at all. You need to be reasonable and be a human and understanding, because we're partners with our I sell myself as a partner to my clients. And my one of my latest new clients that onboarded, one of the biggest sales and projects that I've had for my agency, they signed on with me because they liked the fact that I was partnering with them.
Yep.
And the other pitches they had were grossly different in cost. I came in the middle and it was reasonable, but I also sold myself as someone that they could partner with. And when I hand off their website and their project, I'm still there to help them grow. And they appreciated that.
Mhm.
So you need to realize that you're a partner for the businesses that you're serving, but you need to protect yourself if things change and go off the rails.
Yep, I agree with you. Is there anything else you wanted to touch on, Ryan, in amongst dealing with contract TOSs and more?
Not at all. It just it kind of sparked after our last conversation about,
Yep.
bad clients and how we get there.
Mhm.
And I thought that this conversation would be a little more proactive, and that
Yep.
when you see the warning signs early, take care of them, but have a heart, because everybody's human at the end of the day.
I agree with you. Thanks very much, Ryan. Jump on over to One Dog Solutions. The office team in Ryan's life is very quiet today. I wonder what's going on.
It's a cold, gloomy day outside, so there's no activity. They are bored.
No, no, that's not a good thing. Thank you, sir. You have a wonderful day, my friend.
You too.
Thank you very much for listening to the STM Show. The STM Show is brought to you by Stunning Digital Marketing, your digital concierge. For all your digital marketing needs, especially WordPress security, jump on over to stunningdigitalmarketing.com and let's help you put the pieces together and make your business succeed in the marketing realm. That's stunningdigitalmarketing.com. A very special thank you to Ryan Waterbury for joining me on this edition of the STM Show. This podcast is dedicated to my late father, Bruce Cairns. Dad, I love you. I miss you very much. And thanks for all the inspiration over the years and your caring, your understanding, and helping me grow as an individual. Thank you, Dad.